Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a review on the new Anastasia Fall Romance eyeshadow palette. So before I get started with the video, if you are new to my channel, I would love it if you hit the subscribe button down below. Click the bell next to that so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. And if you like and enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. Okay, this is a palette right here. It says Gorgeous Plum Velvet Finish Palette. It says Anastasia across the front here, and on the back it says Fall Romance. It's also a cruelty free eyeshadow palette, so it looks like this inside. There are 12 dual toned eyeshadow shades inside. They're all in these kind of really rich shades for the autumn time. There's a few metallics, there's some mattes, there's some slight shimmer shades, and there's also a few duochromes inside as well. I'm going to talk through the shades in a minute. I'm going to also swatch them on my hands for you. But as you can see here, it is like a palette that's just perfect for this kind of autumn fall time. Like, there's a lot of rich shades in here. You can get like many different eye looks with this palette. I'm going to get into swatching all the shades for you, and like I said, there is a mixture of different finishes in here. So this one is the shade Smoke, which is this gorgeous metallic silvery kind of like taupe-ish shade. It pulls a little bit pink actually as well. It has a hint of pinkiness in there. It's very buttery, soft as well. This is the shade Moonlight, which is a little bit of a lighter metallic. Then we have Fireside, which is one of my favourite shades in the palette. It's this gorgeous kind of coppery bronze colour like that. It's so beautiful. It's very kind of buttery soft. Next we have another standout in the palette, which is Divine, which is a little bit of a kind of pinky purpley plumish duochrome. It's got this slight kind of metallic finish to it. It looks matte in the palette, but it has that slight soft metallic finish to it. And then we have the shade Crown, which is like this dual toned duochrome, as you can see there. It's kind of like this green-ish colour. It's also a little bit gold, a little bit yellow, like it shifts a few different shades. And then next shade we have is Ember, which is kind of like this matte with slight shimmery sparkles in it. Yeah, that's right there. Really nice and kind of pigmented shade. There has like little sparkles in it there, which is really cute. It's like little gold sparkles. Then we have the shade Leather, which is one of my other favourite shades in this palette, which you will see why when I like show you the tutorial on this eye look. But yeah, like this is it right here. It's just like beautiful. It's the kind of perfect transition shade for this palette. And then the next shade we have is Thorns, which is this greeny colour here. Some kind of like gold speckles I think in it there. But that's it right there. It's kind of this foresty green colour. I'll just add a little, I'll add a little bit more. This kind of foresty green colour. And then the next shade we have is Crimson, which this shade is just so beautiful. Like, this is like basically the shade of the palette, like the colour of the palette. Like, that's it there. It's this gorgeous kind of rich, plummy, slightly burgundy shade. It's a matte finish shadow, and the quality of this one is just beautiful. Next one is Midnight, which is this kind of like soft metallic, nice and buttery. That's it right there. And then we have the shade Mulberry, which is a shade that I'm actually looking forward to using. I haven't tried this one yet in this eye look, but that's it right there. And this looks like it's like another kind of really soft metallic. I don't think it's like completely matte. I think it has, yeah, I think it has like some gold in it there. It's kind of like more of a metallic-y finish, but like a very soft metallic finish. And then the very last one we have is Twilight, which is this really kind of deep green colour. So that's the Twilight shade there. As you can see, the shades in top row are a little bit lighter, they're more kind of metallic. The bottom rose, a little bit more matte, a little bit more deep, rich, earthy shades, but there's also some soft metallics in there as well. But yeah, that's the shades inside the palette there. We also get a nice mirror in the palette, which is great. I love a palette that comes with a mirror, it's just really handy. And yeah, I love the finish of the palette. Like, I love this kind of velvety, soft feel of the palette. It's just perfect for this kind of autumn fall time, because everything's all about being nice and warm and cozy, and just, yeah, it really suits this type of packaging for this time of the year as well. So yeah, I think it's absolutely gorgeous, this palette. I'm going to jump into the tutorial now and you can see how I created this eye look. I'm going to take the shade Leather and I'm going to apply this into my crease, but I'm also going to focus it a little bit more on the outer corner of my eye as well. So just kind of like starting here, and then I'm just going to take it through my crease. This is a really nice shade. It's one of these shades where when you apply it to the eye, it's really intense, and as you start to blend it out, it kind of like naturally diffuses and gives a really, really lovely kind of blended transition type of shade like there. It's kind of cool tone when you pack it on the eye, but when you blend it out, it has that hint of warmth to it, which is really nice. So it gives it that really nice kind of like soft transitional fade. Like, as you can see, the edge of it there looks a little bit warmer, which is really nice. Okay, so I'm going to take the shade Crimson on this Morphe R39 brush, and I'm going to stamp this into the outer corner to give me a little bit more of a kind of burgundy, kind of smoky outer corner. So just stamping that shade right here. This shade really matches the colour of the palette. Like, as you can see there, it has that really nice kind of rich burgundy look to it, which is gorgeous. It's another really nice matte shade. It blends out really lovely, just like the leather shade. Like, very pigmented and blends beautifully. Like, it's a burgundy plum type of colour. It's so rich and just beautiful. So going back in with my Morphe M433 brush, just picking up a little bit of the shade Leather again, and I'm just going to diffuse the edges, make sure everything's nice and blended and all ties together really nicely. I'm going to take the shade Divine, and I want to put this a little bit through my crease, but not too much. So I'm going to take this smaller brush, it's the Morphe M506 brush. I'm going to like pick up a little bit of this. Yeah, that's nice. Just a little bit more of an intense purple there in the crease. Got that kind of deeper, rich burgundy colour in the outer corner, and I'm actually going to deepen up just a little bit more. I'm going to take some more of Crimson on my Morphe R39 brush. I'm just going to stamp that again in the outer corner. Just make sure it's nice and smoky there. And then again, just taking a little bit more of Leather on my M433 brush from Morphe. I'm just going to really tap off the excess there and just slightly diffuse the edge of all those shadows at the top here. Make sure everything's nice and seamless and blended. I'm going to take the shade Fireside on this kind of flat Morphe GH41 brush, and I'm going to apply this onto my eyelid, so kind of like where that what's that called again, where the crimson shade ends, like almost to the inner corner, not right into the inner corner, but almost all the way in. I'm using this brush just to get the placement first, and then I can probably go in with my finger to intensify it, because I always usually like to use my finger when I'm applying like a metallic shade. It's applying really nicely with the brush. As you can see, it's nice and metallic even though, but I will probably just go in with my finger just to intensify it a little bit. You could also wet the brush if you want, but I'm not really a huge fan of wetting brushes and dipping them into eyeshadows, because sometimes I feel like it ruins them. ho, those shades together are so beautiful, like gorgeous. Like, this is just the definition of fall time in my eyes. Like, yeah, like these kind of rich burgundy, plummy, bronzy shades, like so beautiful for like fall as well as winter. Like, yes, absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to take my finger, like my nails are quite long just now, but I'm just going to just slightly press my finger into this shadow, like the Fireside shade. I'm just going to lightly apply this onto my lid as well, like where I applied that shade already, just to see if it intensifies it a little bit. But I feel like the shade is beautiful with just using the brush, like it's really intense as it is. But I just feel like I want to try with my finger just to see if I get any more intensity with it. Like, yeah, it's intensified it a little bit. Like if I went in a little bit harder with my finger, I'm just going to go lightly because I don't want my nail to catch the rest of the shadows and mess it up. So yeah, like that is so stunning. I'm now going to take the shade Midnight, which is this really kind of dark plum shade. It's a metallic shade as well, and I'm going to just use this to connect that Fireside shade with the crimson shade. So yeah, I'm going to just use the other side of that brush that I was using. I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that. I just want to lightly apply this just to marry those shades together there, so we have no kind of like harsh line. Now I'm going to take the shade Smoke, and I'm going to apply this like right into kind of like the inner corner and just slightly to the inner portion there of my lid, where I've just left a tiny space there. To apply this shade, I'm just using a Morphe Y22 brush for this, and I feel like this will really tie the whole look together. It will really come together with this shade, like, yes. So just tapping a little bit in the inner corner there and just slightly dragging it into the inner part of the lid. I'm going to do a little bit of something on my lower lash line. You know, I don't normally do that, but I'm going to do it today. So I was going to first of all just take the shade Leather on this Morphe Y21 brush, and I'm just going to run this right kind of tight to my lash line. And I'm actually not going to take it all the way in. I'm going to take it like halfway in there. So just making sure it connects to the outer corner of the eye, like connects well with the upper part. And then I'm going to take Crimson on the same brush and just keep this really tight to my lower lash line. I'm not going to do the Divine shade on the lower lash line because I want it to be the main standout on like the top lid, and also like that Fireside shade. I don't want to add that to my lower lash line either. I want that to be the main focus on the top eyelid. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it like that for the shadow just now, and I'm just going to I think I'll do a nude in my waterline, just because if I do like a black liner it might look too dark for my eyes. So just taking this nude liner from Anastasia and my waterline, it's the Pro Pencil in shade number 1. Okay, so this is how the eye looks just now with like no mascara on, and I'm going to apply some mascara and some lashes, I think, to the look. So this is what it looks like so far, and I love these tones together. They're very kind of like jewel toned, like I love that kind of purpley plummy colour with this bronzy shade here. It's just so beautiful. Like, this is just a definition of like fall. This is kind of like the definition of September to me. This is like, if September was a colour, this is the colour I imagine. Like, yes, this kind of purpley plummy colour. Like, yes, I love it. So I'm going to just do the mascara and the lashes now. Okay, here's the completed eye look with the mascara and lashes on now, and so beautiful. It's a very kind of fall, autumn eye look is just absolutely gorgeous. I love all the kind of purpley, plummy, burgundy shades that this eye look has. Like, it's just so beautiful. Looks gorgeous with green eyes as well. So I've used 6 of the shades inside the palette, so I've used like half the palette, and I just love the kind of formula of the shadows and how they're blended. Like, the mattes are just so beautiful. Like, they just blend effortlessly. They're so flawless on the eyes. The metallic as well, this one Fireside, is just absolutely stunning. As you've seen, I used a dry brush and it just went on beautifully. The Divine shade is really nice as well. Like, I really love how this looks in the crease. It is more of a kind of like this metallic-y, slightly duochrome. It's the same as this kind of one here, the Crown shade. It's more of a duochrome. It's like kind of gold and green. I'm looking forward to using this in a look. I didn't think it would go really that well with this eye look today. I especially love this shade Crimson. I love how this looks in the outer corner. It's just so rich and like burgundy, and just, it's basically the colour of this palette. Leather is gorgeous. Like, leather just blends effortlessly. It kind of like almost blends itself. It gives that beautiful kind of soft transition shade that kind of pulls a little bit warmer, even though it's kind of like this cool tone shade. It pulls a little bit warm once you start to blend it out. The shade Smoke is gorgeous. It's kind of one of these type of shades that's just going to match well with many different eye looks that you create with this. Like, it's beautiful for highlighting in a corner there. It's just a colour that I feel is going to match, like, whether you're doing like purpley eye looks, bronzy eye looks, the greeny eye looks you could get with this palette. Like, this shade is going to go like with every colour coloured eye look you can get with this palette. I'm looking forward to using the other shades that I haven't used in the palette yet. Like, there's a couple of like really kind of light shimmery shades here, like this one, Ember. Mulberry's got a little bit of shimmer in it as well. Also Thorns has got a little bit of shimmer in it as well there, so I'm looking forward to using them. And I actually want to do like a kind of greenish eye look with this palette. Like, I feel like Leather, Thorns, maybe Twilight, a little bit of maybe Ember and some Smoke would look beautiful together. I think, yeah, that would be a gorgeous eye look, which I will do for you if you're interested, because I think it's a gorgeous palette for this kind of autumn fall time. And I love the look of the palette. It's so beautiful with this kind of velvety soft finish. So that is it for this review on the Anastasia Fall Romance palette. I really hope you liked and enjoyed it. I'll leave the palette down below in the description box. If you click that and buy the palette, then that really helps out my channel, because it is like an affiliate link where I get a little bit of commission, so that would really help out my channel. But yeah, so that is it for this video, guys. I really hope you liked and enjoyed this review. If you did, give it the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and I'll speak to you very soon in my next video. Bye.